So I got a request to do glass and to demonstrate how to get bifaces from bottles and I assume other things, right? I got some bottles. I'm gonna try these here. I buy a lot of this steak sauce stuff and the bottles are kind of flat, right? So, and they're a nice color. I'm gonna try that. I got a wine bottle. I cleaned off the label. How do you clean off the label? You just soak it in water, I don't know, 5-10 minutes, right? In hot water. And then I just take a knife or a utility knife, scrape off the wet label, and it still has glue and stuff stuck to the bottle, even if you scrape it really well. So I just take a stainless steel Brillo or stainless steel scrub pad and then scrub it all off with soap and water, dish soap and water. It usually comes off once you scrub it off with that stainless steel scrubber. It might clog up the scrubber depending on how well you get the glue off to begin with. It can be scraped off pretty well, and it just leaves a thin film after that. That can be scraped off with the stainless steel scrubber. Yep, I tried other scrubbers too and they just get gummed up. Anyway, or you can use a solvent. But this is all going to be on a budget. So, it's something you can do in your kitchen or whatever. And then come out in the back into your shop and mess it up. No fancy equipment, no nothing. If you want to see fancy equipment on how to cut this glass, you'll have to wait a long time because I don't know if I'll buy fancy equipment. This is my fancy equipment right here. I'm just going to smack them and break them with this. Yeah. Now with fancy equipment, you can cut the glass right where you want it. Yeah. You can make arrowheads from any part of the bottle as long as it's flat enough. And even if it's not flat, you can still make arrowheads that are curved, but the long way's straight. Straight the long way, but curved the other way. You can do that. You can cut glass this way with the glass. You can use like a grinding wheel type cutter, and it'll take a while, but you can cut through, or a tile cutter, or there's fancy glass cutters. But like I said, this is low tech. And I got this many years ago. This is a light fixture. I'm going to break this. I'm just going to hit it with a hammer. I was thinking I'm going to get a cutter and, fancy cutter to cut stone and glass. And then I'm going to cut this into perfect triangles. And maybe even blade size pieces. But no, I'm just going to smack it in the middle with a hammer. Just for the video. Okay, let's see. Let's try this one. Simple wine bottle. Let's get this off the neck too. Now that it's easy to handle, don't have to worry too much about cutting myself right now. Get this off. Yeah, alright, so let's see. Put up a barrier so that flakes don't fly up into my face. Okay, where's the barrier? I'm just gonna put a towel there, I guess. And see what it happens when I do that. Okay, it explodes. Yeah. Is this bottom good for arrowheads, I mean? No. Unless you want to break that one too and see if you can get a little bitty arrowhead out of it. But this is for pressurized bottles. Yeah. That have like a fizzy kind of wine. The thickest glass is going to be in the neck of the bottle. But that's super curved. But you can still make an arrowhead out of it. Yeah. Let's see. Did I get glass everywhere? No? So how do you make bifaces out of this stuff? Well, very carefully. And check out the quality of the glass. Sometimes it's too brittle. Like this one looks like it's too brittle. Usually it breaks up into longer pieces than this. This looks a little blocky. And a little bit too delicate. I like the color, but I would not recommend this for Arrowhead. See how inconsistent the thickness is? Thin right there, but thicker right there. That's not good. But yeah, you can make an Arrowhead for, you know, in this direction. But it's not thick enough. This one is much better as far as thickness goes. Yeah, up toward the top of the bottle. Yeah. These are thick enough. Yeah, we got low-tech stuff going on here. Make sure it doesn't have cracks. Like, see this right here? Too many cracks. Can't use that. Oops. Oh, I'm not gonna put that. I can't put the glass with my stone debitage because I throw away my stone debitage at the recycle center. They don't take glass with the stone. Alright, so these two are good. These are not. These inconsistently thick. Now you can say, well, isn't that good for like the tip of the arrowhead and then down here is the base? Yeah, I suppose. Let me see. Let's take a small bopper and start using my imagination. Where's my tiny little bopper? There it is. Let's see. I just don't like this particular glass. But yeah, this is good. You can mount it just like that. It's got fairly sharp edges. You might say, are you kidding? Are you joking? Just put that on the tip of an arrow. Yeah. You just want something to penetrate and cause the animal to bleed out, right? You don't want to spend a lot of time? That's good enough. You want to nap the edges? I suppose you can bevel the edges. That was lucky that it snapped right there. It's not too much more work to do. Let's do this one. Okay. You're going to have gloves out in the boondocks when you're trying to survive. Who knows? You're not going to probably have time to do any of this anyway if you're in an actual survival situation. I really don't watch these survival situation type videos because you're going to spend all your time trying to find your way out of the location that you're in. Your first instinct is to find a way out. Start moving yourself out of that situation to a road or whatever. I'm not going to say, oh, I'm lost. Now I'm going to sit down for days and make weapons. Yeah. Unless you get lost on purpose. I don't know anyone who would do that. Think someone would do that? Get lost on purpose so they can get it on video? That they're in a survival situation? No. Unless you're doing it for money like on survival shows. Anyway, see how I bevel that? This is a sharp edge. Right there. See that? You just push on the convex side straight down. You might say, well, I got lost, but I need dinner. I don't like to be going to sleep without my dinner. If I walk all day, I won't have no dinner. That's true, you're not going to have any dinner, but the human body can go without food for days. I wouldn't worry about that part too much. It's the water that's important. Anyway, see how I did that? Now, I could do that all the way around. Make sure one side is straight. And you can mount it to a shaft without any modification except for this beveling. No sense in trying to flake both sides if all you're doing is surviving. Now, if you want to know how to do this because you want to be fancy and not surviving, just for a hobby, how do I make arrowheads out of glass for art and for fun? Oh, then there's endless possibilities. Yeah. Endless. Bountiful possibilities. I'm just testing this piece out because I said earlier that it was a little bit too brittle, and it feels like it's a little bit too brittle when I'm doing this, but you get the idea. Once you get a good enough edge, after rough shaping, you can put an edge on it like I just showed earlier with the little serrations. Just push downward and bevel it. After you do that, I want to see if I have my little foreshafts. I have a little basket of foreshafts. Hold on. Yes. Somewhere. No. Yes. Come on. Ooh, it did break, right? No. Might have broken. Anyways. It can be put onto an arrow shaft just like that. Now, of course, you can get much fancier, right? I'll show you how to get fancier. I think I might have broken that, but I don't know. Anyway, for survival, this is good enough. How long it took? 13 minutes. It's half of that because I did a lot of blah, blah, blah. And I did some non-napping in the beginning. But yeah. Okay, that's the simplest way to go about getting an arrowhead from a bottle. Okay. And you can put this serrated edge on all these sides, but it's not necessary, actually. It's not that sharp, but it's sharp enough. This is sharper with the serration, so just do that all the way around for the simplest one possible. Okay, now if you're curious as to whether this works or not, well, let's see. That piece of it, that's a piece of it. That can actually work. Yeah, once you hit that bubble off the top of it, you can get some arrowheads from the edges. Let's put this aside. Let's get the bopper out. That area's getting cluttered already. Oh well. Easy come, easy go. Can I get something out of that? It's mightily curved. I probably wouldn't mess with this. It is highly brittle. Yeah. Yeah, it's way too brittle. Goodness. I was going to break that in half to make two. I might be able to get one from this side. And I'll just break it in two. No, it's too brittle. Yeah, you can tell right away. So this is not a good bottle. Even though I saved a couple of chunks, it's not that great. This is a better chunk because these are thicker. Towards the top of the bottle. Yeah, come on. I'm just picking you up gently. That might be usable. I don't know where my gloves. I'm gonna get all messy. You might say, this seems kind of wasteful. I don't know if I'm learning. Yeah, it is wasteful. Yeah. No, this is, I wouldn't use this at all. Not even these over here. So now you know. It's got to be a better bottle. Let's try a different bottle. It's nice and sharp, yeah. It is possible to use it. Let's try this one. What I'm doing is I'm covering part of the bottle. I'm hitting just above where I'm covering, okay? I'm not hitting through the towel. Let's see. Is that thick? Yeah, that seems like it's sufficiently thick. It is sufficiently thick to make arrowheads, but this one feels very brittle as well. Yeah. Just cracks in the top. I just want to get those out. So those are nice and flat. This feels very brittle, but it might not be as brittle as the other one. That didn't work. That's actually pretty good. Yeah, you can only get little ones. I wouldn't recommend cutting this. It's not worth it. You know, to spend all your time trying to cut this to get nice triangles, because the quality is not that good. I mean, it can be worked. but it's not that good. That's nice and thick. Yeah. So all I'm doing is looking around for possibilities. Yeah, that's very brittle right there. It's not worth it. It's too curved on the bottom. So yeah, I could get, let's say, it is a nice color. But let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces out of that one bottle. But you start with the smallest one first and make an arrowhead out of it, and then you can duplicate it for all the others. So this is the smallest. Right? Alright, okay, so I'm going to break this just to see. I've had it for years, right? I hate to do it, but it's a law of the West. Now, what was it? It was a light fixture cover. Let's break into this and see how it feels. It was not that difficult to break. Oops, it is difficult. I mean, it's a lot less difficult than I thought, but that's a good thickness. What is the thicknesses exactly, you might ask? All right, exactly. Let's see, exactly. This one's like 7 millimeters or a little over a quarter inch. Little over a quarter inch or 7 millimeter. But it feels super brittle. Yeah, and it wants to scoop. If it was not all that brittle, it would take a flake right across with no problem. When I do that, it should flake all the way across. On the corner, yeah. The way to tell if it's good, flake corner. If it flakes all the way across, it's good, but if it doesn't, it probably is not that good. See, it wants to scoop. Let me try another one. Okay. It's tempered. Yeah. This one is tempered glass. Dang. All those years sitting there, I thought I had something good. But this is highly brittle and highly tempered. I need to be able to run long, clean flakes. This is long, isn't that indicative of something good? Maybe, maybe not. Alright, I should be able to run a flake all the way across this corner. Well, it did it. Okay, let's try another corner. That did it. Maybe it's not evenly tempered, because this was pretty good. Yeah. This snap's actually pretty good on this. This particular piece is actually pretty good. This piece, not so much. I guess you gotta test the whole thing, huh? Ouch. So you don't want that to happen while you're napping. The noise that in the background is rain, in case you didn't know. It is raining. That's not too bad, actually. Okay. Cut it down to size a little bit. That's too small. You should be able to get some good preforms from something like this. Get rid of all the cracks. I once mentioned somewhere, and someone asked a question recently, on beveling it so that you can hit inward. Bevel the edge so you can hit inward. I'll show you what I mean. Alright, you bevel the edge. Just hit downward on the top. See how it creates a bevel? Very steep, but now you can hit inward. Right on that bevel. See, you can hit inward. Same on the other side. Of course, you do it more carefully than that, but you can take long flakes now that you've got a bevel. Any angle here that's, you know, close to 45 is a good angle. It could be a little bit less or a little bit more than 45. Is a good bevel. Yeah. $45 or thereabouts. And I'm hitting above center line too, so if you got really tough material, it might be difficult to hit above center line and be effective. But it does work. You just gotta keep at it. Hitting above center line if you're having trouble. Just hit it until it breaks. That should work for an arrowhead too. Just get rid of all the pieces that have cracks. Can't have any existing cracks in that. Flakes. So is this really what I do to find material? to make arrowheads. Yeah, this is what I do. It's low tech. What about this stuff? You saw this stuff, didn't you? Yep, I can use that too. Hold on. Yeah, that's good. It's very close to the being good already. Already a good shape. What's the size of this? 1.7 ounce. Weighted copper bopper. Oh dang. And a crack in it anyway, right there. That's good. Yeah, it's very brittle. That's good. It's pretty brittle around the edges. But in the center, it seems to be okay. Just got to get rid of the edges. So what was the dimension on that? I didn't even see. But yeah, truthfully, that's what I would do. I just do this. And if I want to make a bunch of arrowheads for a set, I pick the smallest one that I'm willing to work with, like that one or something. Or you can, if you go smaller, you can work with a bunch more of this mess. Depends on how small you want to go. If you don't want to go that small, you just toss those. And maybe this is the smallest you want to go. Whichever, and then you count them up. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you say that's not enough because I didn't make a dozen, you gotta go smaller. You start going into the pile and pick up the smaller ones. Anyway. And you put them into a little basket. Okay. Now I got some material from Mike Tufts sent me this. These are flakes of Flint Ridge mixed in, heat treated Flint Ridge. But I got some of this milk glass. How does this work? That actually feels very nappable. Yeah. Yeah, that's a big difference from the other two. From these are tempered glass. This one seems to be just regular glass. Yeah, this feels better. Yeah. I like this. What is it? It's some sort of vintage milk glass, a hand cream. Now he actually cut and ground these down. Cut the bottom out. Jergens. This is good stuff. I don't know how I'm going to get this. I would cut this in half if I could, but I mean I can use the... I might be able to score it. It's too thick though. I guess just make one arrowhead out of that. Or one knife. I took a flake ooth. Oh, that. He taped it back together. But this is good stuff. This old milk glass, this is good. Alright, so what do I do? Hope I didn't show the address. Dang it. What do I do with this stuff? I cut them, I score them, and then I break them. I don't cut them. I don't know why I said cut. I score these. See the score mark? And then I come over here and I go. These are pliers specifically for breaking glass. I just try to use them on there. Let's see. Let's cut. It's getting in the way. This little lip. Voila. Okay. Nice. And of course I can do more. I can cut them even more than that. What about something like this? Can I score it? I don't know. Maybe. It's very, very curved. I'd rather just hit it. Dang, that's good stuff. Yeah, I'd just rather hit it like that. That's good stuff. These might be too small, but yeah, when it's too curved like that, I'll just hit it. Yeah, and it seems to work best if you hit the top, the top that's curved. Nice! I couldn't have planned that any better. This one I can score and cut, maybe. It might not work, but I could score it this way. Make 2 arrowheads. It's got to be well, it doesn't have to be a straight line, but it's got to be as straight as you can get it. Let's see if that works. Voila. That's what I do. Okay. Alright, so we got 3. I was going to nap this one. Alright, I was going to nap this one. But what if I don't want to? Yeah. It's not for you to want or not to want. It's not for you to like or not to like. You just do it. Let's see. Yeah, okay. I know where this is going to go. So it's going to take forever to pressure flake it. Whoops. Microphone mic. Took a dive. Where's my mallet? Can you see? No. I'm too far away from the light now. I can't even clean off the camera without Mike taking a dive. So I was hitting the edge just so I can get used to what it takes to get a flake off, and then once you get the feel for removing the flake, it gets easier. So I'm just hitting downward to bevel the edge. Can you see? No? I still have not gone to get a new phone because I think my phone does not qualify for trade-in. Yeah, we'll see. So I just hit it to bevel the edge. Hit downward. Then you hit the other way. The more narrow it is, the easier it is to flake across the whole point. Well, you already know that. From watching the channel, you know it's much easier to flake across once you get it narrow. Now I'm going kind of slow because I don't want to cause a crack that goes all the way across. Okay, so once you get the preform, it's like anything else. Not that one. This one. Got to abrade it. You indirect percussion the preform. And this same technique works for glass insulators. You know, those old glass insulators that go on the top of telegraph poles. You just break them apart like this and then fish around for pieces. It's highly wasteful. Yeah. Or you can just take the insulator by itself and just whittle it down to one arrowhead. I don't know, maybe you can crack it in half and get 2 arrowheads out of that one insulator. Or you can just smash it like I did with a hammer and pick out what you want. Of course, you're not going to get a long piece. Depending on the size of the insulator, but they're pretty standard in size. It's difficult because they got so many undulations in them and the curves, but the glass is very thick. So if you're lucky, you can get an arrowhead out of the insulator if you randomly break it like this. Okay, let's see what's next. Do I have time to make an arrowhead out of this? I don't want to cut off the video and then continue on part 2. I don't want to. No. So it's already beveled, right, from the indirect percussion. I'm just pushing on the bevel to run flakes across. Have I done this a lot? I don't know about a lot, but when I first started, I wanted to try to get some nice beer bottle arrowheads. So I spent a good 3 months on it. Yeah, if not longer, knapping bottles. When I first started, look at that, all those sneaky flakes getting in there. The thing you got to worry about is you have to be in that Goldilocks zone where you're not putting too much pressure on the edge and snapping the whole thing, but enough pressure to send long flakes into the workpiece. Yeah, and I'll just whittle it down. Use the black gloves. I don't know. Let's see. See, if I use the black gloves and I do this, you might not be able to see clearly. Well, maybe you can. I'm still pretty much just roughing it out. But I'm making the edge bifacial so that it starts to nap like a regular preform made of stone. Now, did I make some really nice beer bottle arrowheads when I first started? No, I did not. Even after 3 months, I still had areas on the workpiece that did not get flaked. Come on, as soon as I start napping, it gets blurry. Yep, never fails. Doesn't matter where I put it. Let's put it down low so it has less of a chance to get blurry. So I just keep going until the whole face is napped. I haven't even done that side yet. Did I tell you the easiest arrowhead to make is the one with the concave base? That way you can shoot flakes up from the base easily. I told you already? Yeah, I thought I did. Make sure you have a fresh edge on the steel. That way it doesn't slip as much. Okay. It's slipping on me, so I gotta take the glove off and just deal with the little shards. Where was I? It's not that great so far, but it's okay. Did I overshoot that? I overshot that one. I'm not supposed to. I was thinking I could do that flaking like this, but nope. I was hoping I didn't have to keep watching every single flake. There's just a little bit left of the original surface. Right there. So you just keep doing a lot of these until you can get long flakes. It's just a matter of getting used to the material. It could take you 1 week. It could take you 1 year. And I'm not kidding. To get used to making long flakes on this stuff. You might be saying, I don't want to take a year. Well, you're going to be a year older anyway. Can't stop that from happening. So, what's the problem? You're going to spend a year doing something. How long would it take me to get used to making long flakes on this stuff? Well, it depends on how wide the points are. If they're super wide, or if I try to maximize it, that's what takes the longest. Learning how to maximize. That could take you up to a year or more. But like I said, you're going to spend a year doing something. You're going to spend a year scrolling through videos and flipping through Instagram or Facebook or whatever. Or are you going to do this? How long would it take me? I don't know. To get really good at this. I'm still working on it, but I do all other things. So I don't focus just on long flakes. What else is there in the world except long flakes? You thought long flakes were the be-all end-all, huh? Yeah, well, it seems that way, but I want to try different methods of doing the same thing. same result with different methods. I want to see how many methods is possible to use and get the same result. And try not to overshoot like that. It's easy to overshoot this material. So there's a little bit left of the original flake, original surface right in the middle there. But you know what? It doesn't matter to me. But you say, I wanted to see you nap the whole thing. That's the whole point of the whole video. No, that's not the whole point of the whole video. One of the whole points was just how do you make the preforms, or get ready to, or get the glass ready like a biface, and how many can you get from something. Well, I showed you the budget way of doing it, where you don't need a lot of equipment, but it's very wasteful. You can buy the glass cutters and the tile cutters and whatever other kind of fancy stuff that glass workers use to cut their glass. And eventually, if you're going to be napping a lot of glass, it'll save you some money. But spending $800 for all that equipment take you a long time to make up for that. I think. Should it cost that much? Well, if you get everything, yeah. But if you just get a glass cutter wheel for your angle grinder, or they might not say cutting glass, but you can cut tile, which includes glass tile, with that angle grinder blade or whatever. You can cut bottle glass with an angle grinder and get straight pieces out of the sides. Easier that way, instead of breaking them up like this. I'm trying to uncrunchify that area, but it's not working that well. I'm crunching the edge now. How do you get the crunches out of the edge? Just gotta keep napping it down. Sometimes it gets really narrow. That's all you can do. Just try to nap away the crunchies. It's kind of sticky in there. I don't want to push too hard because it overshoots. But yeah, it's not going to work. The edge is already too sharp, and I didn't grind it. I'm not going to grind the edge again. It's already getting too small. So yeah, I have some of the original surface on there, but you can barely tell. That's my secret. Yep. You didn't know that was the secret? Now you know. The file is full of copper. So what was I doing when I was sharpening this? I was just making it sharp. If the skinnier it is without the burr on the end, the easier it is to notch. Well, on a small point. So I just get rid of that burr. And I can use this rounded end to get in there better. I like to expand the notches a little bit. Alright, so that's about it. So then I look at my other pieces. Hold on. What about a notch in the middle of the stem or the base? Let's do a notch in the middle of the base. Yeah, so we can risk snapping the whole thing. And so I can discuss, why did they do this? Why did they put a notch in the middle of the base? Were they dum-dums? Was it cultural? Was it for glue? Does it make it more delicate so that it breaks upon impact? Was it just because of artism? Or all of the above? Or only some of the above in a strange combination? Who knows? Maybe 3 is a magic number. Yeah. 3 is a magic number. 3 points, 3 notches. And I got 3 points. 1 point for each ear and 1 tip. 3 points, 3 notches. Everything's a multiple of 3. Your arrows in the quiver are a multiple of 3. Your bow has 3 wraps on each limb. Three layers of sinew. Your bowstring has 3 loops to fasten it on one end, or 3 overhand knots to fasten it on one end. Maybe it's numerology. The 3 is the magic number. Put 3 notches near the tip. Here, maybe I got some of that crunchiness out of there. No? Anyway, if you make this basal notch really big, it makes it delicate so that it will break when it hits. That could be one reason why they did it that way. Okay, so that's it. And then you compare it to the other ones. Let's see, let me see if I can find something to haft this into. Oh, what are I going to do with it? My basket of forceps. I still don't have a tiny foreshaft, do I? Yeah, I kind of do. Or no. No, I don't. Not on that side either. I got this one. It's too big. This is the smallest one I got. I have a smaller one somewhere. Smaller foreshaft for an arrow. But I put it away. What did I do with it? I'm so tired of this. What did I do with it? It's not in my box. I have boxes and boxes. No, I can't find it. Anyway, you get the idea. Yeah. So yeah, it fits onto an arrow foreshaft, right? Perfectly well. The notches are spaced to such an extent that the wrapping will go on nice and tight. It's not going to. The wrapping is not going to be flying because the notches are too far apart. The notches are right there on the edge of the wood, which is good. I like it that way. I just wouldn't make the notch that deep. I'd make the notch like this deep. Right there, so that the wood sticks barely up above the notching. Right? And then you look at your other pieces and you go, oh, I can make a bunch of them that size. And I can even go fishing for more pieces of glass. I can easily make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more of this size. So the smaller I go, the more I go ho ho ho. I might even be able to get one out of that. Yeah, maybe. No, I probably can't. Come on. You're already going to ruin it by dropping it. Alright, so you get the idea. If you need to see how to cut this stuff, to maximize it, you'll need to wait or go to a different video. Yeah. But that's, even at that size, it was still hard for me to run flakes across to where there's no original surface. There's still a little bit of original surface on that. Right there. See that? In the middle, between the notches. But that's it. I would have to nap a lot of this stuff to get used to running longer flakes. You know, like the flake over grind guys. That's too small. So yeah. Alright, I'll just take a photo like that. Get this suit out of the way. Yeah, alright, so there you go. Hope that was alright. That's it.